Hello, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2023. So exciting. Although I have to say that I feel like we're in a cocoon right now, and I don't see things moving forward until probably around March, which kind of makes a lot of sense to me because of the way that the energies reflect in March. And certainly as spring starts to happen, winter time for me is always a time for like cocooning and going within. So I'm really not sure why the calendar was cut at January and the new year begins at January. But take it for what it is. It does feel like March is going to be a time where we will see more forward movement in a way. Maybe that is more desirable to many of us. For some of us, not for me. I'm speaking for those that might be perceiving the outer reality happenings, feeling chaotic or being chaotic, are going to experience that as their reality, right? But we can choose the divine neutrality and just be an observer of everything that is taking place in our reality, without judgment, letting go of judgment, letting go of the wrong, the right, or it's got to be done this way, or you should say it that way, or whatever, right? That's still ego in operation. So we let that go. But for the purpose of the frequencies that are coming in right now, very, very strong for going within and doing a lot of reflecting and maybe evaluating where we would like to be in this, in this new energy that we're playing in 2023. So take that for whatever it's worth. And as these weeks progress, I'll be bringing you more information on what I see playing out. But right now, that's pretty much it. And reflection, no matter how you do that, right? It could be through journaling. For me, I've been doing a lot of art lately that feels really good to me. I've been playing with some oil paints that I received as a gift from one of my YouTube subscribers. So thank you so much for that. I deeply appreciate your support of my work and also of my channel. And for me, painting keeps me in high vibe status. So I'm more in flow when I am doing things that make me happy, right? Aren't you? That's really what we need to be doing more of the things that fill our soul, that feed and nurture us in ways that will keep our frequencies high as we are navigating these frequencies that are coming in, which are a little off the chain. So let's jump into the upgrades, because these frequencies are very, very different. And I'm hearing them and feeling them in the body, but mostly hearing them when the magnetics of the earth shift. And they are very, very intensified. And I will tell you that, normally my left ear is my cosmic ear for all things solar cosmic, right? The cosmos. But lately I hear a symphony in that ear, and it just tells me that it's more than one frequency, one code at a time coming in, where it used to be more one than, a multitude, but it really is very symphonic like. And so I get this little melody that plays, and sometimes it sounds like somebody's playing bells and singing bowls, and then it changes to flutes. So it's always very interesting to me to have these experiences and be tuned into what is, okay? So I wanted to share that with you. And before I forget, thank you to those of you that messaged me and expressed your delight and amusement in the video that I just recently posted on the light beings. I'm planning on bringing you more, because this appears to be something that is wanting to come through me. So as I get these little moments where they're presenting for me to have an opportunity to share them with you, I absolutely will. I know the fairies came out to play because they were excited. I had also received a fairy as a gift from one of my longtime clients and students. And so when they saw the fairy come into the house, they were like, yes, a fairy, another fairy, because they love all that stuff, right? The fairies, they are so funny. They love all the glitzy and the shiny. And so, yeah, for them, that was like a celebration, right? So they presented themselves. And so thank you so much for watching that video and then letting me know that you really enjoyed it and would like to see more. So I promise you, I'll be working on that. I am going to start setting some funds aside and put a wishing jar on my desk so that every time I have some extra money, I'm going to throw it in there so that I can maybe get a better camera instead of using my cell phone to take these pictures. So we'll see how that plays out. I'd love to have a camera for this, for the energies and the excitement of this year. But anyway, let us get back to the talking point of the ascension upgrades, which is what I want to talk about, okay? And so these upgrades are very interesting because on New Year's Eve, actually, I had noticed that I was starting to get like a scratchy throat. My throat was really starting to bother me. And I knew it wasn't a sore throat or a cold or anything like that. And it wasn't for like a day or so later that I actually realized that there was some draining taking place of the sinuses as they were draining down the back of my throat. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did not have a sinus infection. I did not have any sinus congestion. There was nothing, right? There was no stuffy nose. There's nothing. There hasn't been anything. Okay. And so for 2 days, I had this sore throat and I was using throat coat tea by Traditional Medicinals, which is a wonderful tea. It's got licorice and a whole bunch of other stuff in it that really nurtures and soothes the throat. So if you're feeling that, please get that tea. But this is an upgrade because you have to remember the throat is connected to the ear canals, and the ear canals have always been connected to clairaudience, which is clear hearing. It's how we hear spirit, or helps us hear spirit, because spirit communication comes in that occipital area in the back of the neck, which interestingly enough is where our light codes come in, right? So you could see it's all connected. And the throat area is also represents speaking our truth. It's also a mini power center. So it's all working to open up and clear the pathways, especially for those of us that are the communicators, that are the teachers, that are sharing, like myself. But you could be feeling this too because it's pertaining to other things in your reality, okay? And so, and then I noticed that as I was healing my throat, and my throat stopped feeling scratchy because I was using the throat coat tea, and they also have these wonderful lozenges. I was using the eucalyptus ones, but I absolutely love the ginger lemon echinacea, which is wonderful. So, you know, I highly recommend you use them too if you find yourself in the same position or a similar situation. But anyway, getting back to the codes. So it didn't take long for me to realize that this was a clearing because, as I've mentioned before, anytime fluid is moving out of the body, it's actually bringing or taking programming. It's like a river of programming being taken out of the body. So fluids, right, whether it's urine or mucus or the sinus area or any other fluid, tears are the #1 best way to clear distortion, right? Just cry it out. Cry until you are not crying anymore, because that's how programming, distortion, lack consciousness, victimhood mentality, all of that stuff, right? Our deepest inner wounds are carried out of the body so that we're not playing in that frequency anymore, and we can bring our field into alignment with Gaia and these higher frequencies that are coming in. Now, I'm not going to go deep into that here because I have other videos that you could check out that will speak to that, especially one called If They're Not if they're not ascension symptoms, then what are they, right? Because that's a 3D terminology for the upgrades that we're going to. So we don't want to use the word symptoms. We want to choose upgrades or light body activations, okay? So I noticed this was happening. Again, no sinus issue. My sinuses were never impacted. I never got the true sinus condition, never lost my ability to taste anything. It was just the running of the fluids. And then when the throat was clearing up, it turned into the runny nose. And my nose was just running consistently. I was blowing it every 5 minutes. I was, experiencing sneezing all day, every minute, sneezing. And if you know me, I never sneeze. I just don't. It's just never been a thing for me. So I knew something was going on. And so I was already aware of what was taking place. Now, this never actually went into a cold, except that I was feeling weak from it because these programs, these lower level distortions, the templates were clearing the field, right? And so I did make sure that I made a lot of time to rest so that I could clear this as quickly as possible. The worst thing we could do is to, be upset about it or be frustrated, be angry, not want it, right? Because that just makes it happen longer. It just drags it out and makes it worse for us, okay? When we're accepting of it and we're nurturing our body, we're nurturing and taking into consideration everything that we need, we will have a much better experience moving through it, okay? So I'm at the end of it. It is nearly 100% completed for me. And I could tell you, as I was going through it, that's when all of those magical light beings appeared in my physical. I could see them, physically see them, okay? And for those of you that don't think orbs can be that tiny, I assure you they are that tiny, just like they could be super, super big, okay? So we have to let go of the judgment because everything and anything is possible and very, very magical, all right? So let go of judgment, come into divine neutrality, and allow yourself to be a good receiver. Now, that is one type of ascension upgrade that we are experiencing. And I can't tell you how many people in my online community are experiencing this upgrade at the same exact time. Okay. But that's what happens when you get a collective together and we are all in flow doing the work, and it clears so much faster. The activation, the upgrade happens very quickly and boom, it's over, right? Now, there is another upgrade that is taking place that is really something that is more significant. It is more concerning because it deals with the heart. We are in high heart expansion frequencies, opening the heart, opening the stargate of the heart, because everything is about stargates right now. No more portal energy. Everything is stargates, and focused on the heart center because it is the stargate where we access the all intel, right? Great central sun, the astral plane for all dimensional frequencies as we're experiencing that until we move into these higher fields of consciousness, and then we can just hold that and stay in those higher fields. But until then, we are vacillating in and out of 3D, 4D, although they're not really, in the present for us, but we still might have it in our field where we're having to let it release it from our field, right? That letting go process, because technically the earth is already ascended 5D and higher. Okay, so the earth is not a 3D earth anymore, or 4D earth anymore. It's 5D earth and higher, okay, depending on where you are holding your frequency. Now, what's important about this heart information is that it is creating these intensified heart jolts or heart palpitations. And I don't care what age you are. You could be, young, very young, in your 20s. You could be younger than that, or you could be mid-age or older, it doesn't matter. It's not going to look at, what origin you are or what gender you prefer. It's not going to look at any of that, right? What it's looking at is, does this heart need to be in an expansive state of being? And if it does, it's going to work through the heart stargate to expand that heart stargate. Okay, that is what's important here. Now, the seriousness of this is where the heart will literally jump out of its rhythm, right? Whatever that rhythm is for you, whether it's like 120 over 70 or 80 or whatever, right? And it would go from a beat of like, 115, 120, right up to 150, 160, and make you feel like you're having a heart attack, and then come all the way down to like a low of 30. Okay. And so in some cases, it would appear as if the heart is not functioning properly. Okay. But these are all upgrades. And if you do go to the doctor for this, and the doctor tells you that there is nothing wrong with your heart, it's because you're in the process of heart expansion, which, if you haven't done any of that work, like many of us that have been going through this for the last, 20 years, then you're on the fast track to catch up. Okay. Now, rest is going to be your best friend, not pushing yourself, not stressing yourself out. Okay. And I assure you, you will float through these upgrades with grace and ease, but it will feel intensified and it will feel scary. Okay. The thing to remember is that a lot of this is taking place on an etheric level. We're just feeling it in a physical because, of course, we're still attached to a physical body. Okay. So I wanted to help you understand some of what's taking place. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more sensitivity with the upgrades that make us dizzy and feel floaty and feel lightheaded, because we are not grounding like we used to ground anymore. We need to be in the crown area. We need to be in the higher area. We need to be in our higher consciousness and connecting to our higher self. That is our source above and beyond everything. Okay. It's our source even above and beyond channeling. Okay. We want to be connected to our higher self. And that's what these frequencies are doing. They're pushing us there. So during this cocooning that we're in, really, up until we get into March, it's giving us a lot of opportunity to go within and explore, what is it that's important to us, right? Who am I? Who in this moment am I? What is it that's important to me in this life experience that I'm having? And what is it that I maybe am not doing that I want to do, that I should be doing for myself, that is going to either bring more joy or more fun? Right? Because maybe we're playing a little bit smaller than we need to play. And we really need to start to enlarge our playtime abilities and start to explore and expand. That's what happened with me when I got the oil paints from my viewer, and I started playing with the oil paints, and boy, my root chakra lit up, and then my solar discs lit up, and it was like, holy cow. And probably it's one of the best paintings I've done, although it's not finished. But the face, somehow or another, I'm having a better understanding of, contrast and highlights and contouring and like so many things that I did not understand, but it just lit me up in a way that, I didn't get before using other paint mediums. So I think that this is a very, very important time. It's a very critical time for us to go within and to be able to explore and to allow ourselves to, be vulnerable in some ways, like the video that I shared of the fairies and the orbs in my house. I just moved in here back in October, and it's been interesting because this seems to be a new pathway that's opening up for me. And as I continue to have these experiences, I'm going to continue to share them with you in my desire to be completely transparent. So I hope that they spark something within you and provide you with a sense of your own adventure as we are all journeying together. And so that's going to be the most important thing for you, to allow yourself to be playful and participate in whatever way that is, so that you're having your maximize best experience in this reality that you possibly can. Okay. And so, yeah, I look forward to bringing you more. I feel like, they're wanting to be seen. They're wanting to connect with all of us, with you as well. I was so excited to receive them that I didn't really tune in for messages or anything like that, but I certainly will be doing that going forward to see what is presenting, so that I could also share that with you now. And just remember that I am learning the technology part of editing videos, because normally I don't do that. I make these videos in one straight run. So what you see is what you get, but I did have to do some editing, and that's taking me a little bit of time to get to learn. So hopefully you'll bear with me and we will learn and grow together. I'm so excited for what is going to come in 2023. Is some of it going to be challenging? Yes, absolutely, because there's much that needs to be worked out. But I think just as we endured those challenges, years past, right? I mean, look at the 60s with the hippie revolution and how that changed, and everyone back then had to embrace that. I mean, I don't remember it because I was super small at the time, but and then we had the 70s, and I remember being in school in the 70s and 80s, and some of these platform shoes that were coming out with the foil and all of that sort of stuff and the crazy, but it was part of the fun of being present back then, right? So let's try to find our divine neutrality, let go of judgment, and look for the fun and the adventure in what is to come, as opposed to looking at what is something that we don't want. Don't focus there, because you know what law of attraction says? Law of attraction says wherever you focus, whatever you focus on is what you are going to get, wanted or unwanted. Meaning that if you are focusing on something you don't want, you're going to get more of that simply because you're focused on it. So shift higher, shift into a frequency of love, and call in the magic that you desire to see, okay? And I will do my best to keep sharing that here, so that you can come back here and have a platform to land on, should you also desire that magic. I do have some shorts that I posted that also have fairy activity in them here on my YouTube channel. And I also have, tons on my Instagram feed that you can go in and just take a look at that too. All right. So know that I love you so, so very much. I look forward to connecting with you here again soon. Remember, we are in a time of great revelation within ourselves to look at what is our truth. Allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to tune in. Do not get frustrated by these upgrades. These upgrades are happening for us, okay, rather than to us. They're happening for us, okay? So enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. Have a wonderful, wonderful time doing it, okay? Know that I love you so, so very much. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Thank you very much for connecting and becoming a community here, becoming a family here. We are only heading up from here, I promise you. I love you. Be well.